Hey buddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here, and welcome back to Dune, where we're playing as the Smugglers. I'm feeling pretty good about this one. I don't remember exactly what we were doing. I think we were under attack over here. I gotta get my bearings a little bit, but I think in general, things were looking fairly okay. I do probably... I think... It depends on how I want to try to win this game. Do I want to try to win through hedge money? Do I want to try to win through warfare? Do I want to try to take control of the Dune governorship? I feel like as the Smugglers, taking control of the governorship is a viable option compared to the Fremen, who probably shouldn't do that. I'm a little bit behind. Like, I mean, the amount of hedge money I need to generate is kind of insane. However, I do have a ton of authority banked. So I could go on the aggressive here. Like, there are spice fields over here that I could take control of. They're really, really far away. Or I could grab these spice fields over in Arklon and stuff and continue to build up my military. Like, because we're stealing so much tech, the potential here exists for me to do a lot and to convert my money. It really depends on what I want to do. It's hard to know exactly, but I think, well, obviously we want to win this fight over here first. Let's make sure we get that kill. There we go, easy peasy. Oh, that's a sandworm. Let's go ahead and get to the safety. I find it's always a good idea to have a supply drop in the tank and a gear sabotage in the tank. It basically means, hey, I have a really high chance of winning this. And then the counter to this would be a ceasefire. It's like, oh, you used two really important operations that are gonna like make you win this fight. Ceasefire. I'll just wait them out. So we do have to kind of deal with the fact that House Harkonnen has been eliminated. And also, I am going to trade this water for spice. Oh no, I already am. So, ooh, yeah, they're really unhappy with me. So it's going to take a long time to improve. Then again, could I just kill the siege? Nah, maybe it's fine to keep them. There is good wind in this area. We have an airfield and a plascrete factory. Let's go ahead and pop down a wind trap, because wind traps are valuable for me. Man, it looks like this guy just really wants to fight me. He's got like several Kulon caravans and some warriors, although these warriors appear to be T-posing for a split second there. Yeah, they're going for ruin. Let's go ahead and defend. Let's get in the fight. My snipers are doing work, thankfully. My turret was destroyed in this town again. Oh, yikes. Oh, there's always more attacks. Like the yellow, like honestly, the Fremen just seemed like really, really eager to kill me, which is kind of, it's getting old. It's getting really, really old. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting super tired of having to defend myself constantly. But I mean, like, it's a necessary evil, right, of playing the game. You gotta be on your toes. And I guess theoretically, right, the nice thing about being constantly under attack is that I'm generating a ton of score from killing their units. Like, there are upsides of this, you know? Oh, it looks like we've been getting dump boxes near our capital here. This is a good way for me to get extra cash, actually, so I should totally make this happen. We paid the Imperial bribe. The current stockpile price is really low, so I'm going to heavily stockpile here. We're not going to be selling at all. 1.9 base exchange rate, considering, like, what is it? Oh, wait, sorry. I get a 30% increase, yeah, so I want to wait for the 2.3 exchange rate. If I wait for the bigger exchange rate and stockpile heavily now, I'll be able to do much more aggressive selling. And instead, I can look around for, like, the black market and exchange my spice for money directly using the black market. Like here, I can sell some spice to get a little bit of cash. I don't know if that's like really efficient, but it's something I can do. Yeah, let's bribe some politicians for some intel, and then there's a renowned merchant here. I'll get 100 hedge money. That's nice. Nice little bit of points towards winning. Judge of the council. I definitely want control of Judge of the council, and it would be nice to get cheaper buildings. I don't care so much about unit power. I'll put like a few votes into that, but I think Judge of the Council would be the one that I would want control of the most. So I'll go ahead and vote for that, because I have a lot of influence income, and if I was able to generate, like if I was able to convert the majority of my melee troops to the Landsrad Guard, it would actually just completely change the game for me. I would be militarily very, very hard to stand up against. Actually, these like little crate things, they are worth like 500 Solari each. That's super worth. Oh, baby, look at that. We are in control of the Landsrad. So, like, to compare a scavenger to a Landsrad guard, they cost 50 influence, 3 water, and 3 military power, as well as 1 upkeep and influence. Compare that to a scavenger, 200 Solari, 20 manpower, 3 water. Like, these are just so much cheaper to upkeep. I'm going to be replacing basically my entire melee army with these Landsrad Guard as a huge priority. Now, while they're attacking me, I'm going to go ahead and cause a rebellion in Nun, one of their back villages. And this should just be really, really annoying for them to deal with. Because even though I have like a fully built underworld headquarters here, if this were to be liberated, I think that would significantly hurt the Fremen here. And that would put me in a position to where I could finally stabilize and maybe consider expansion and stuff like that, and not have to worry so much about the constant threat of the Fremen on my border. And maybe I'll be able to actually expand a bit and look to kind of push Shadud, which in of itself is a spice field that I could make great use of if I were to take it over. Let's go ahead and take control of this village. It's quite expensive to do, but absolutely worth it in my opinion. It's not a bad zone at all. And I have a huge amount of plascrete stacked up, so I think it's time we start dropping crafts workshops. I think hedge money is the way to win here. So everywhere I could drop a crafts workshop will be ideal. Otherwise, generating water is also worth hedge money for me, so I'll go ahead and build some water reserves too. Like up here, for example, this is a 5 water zone, so if we pop down some wind traps, that'll be a significant boost. Because I have just an insane amount of plascrete in the bank. So efficiently getting my hands on hedge money here is my main objective. We got a control of a new village. This is the Great Volcano, so it's a good place to build some spare fuel cells for sure. I've got a ton of money in the bank. My question is, do I want to keep buying Chom shares, or do I want to infiltrate these guys at a deeper level? There's something to be said of infiltrating House Atreides and then using my attacks, like my missions against the Fremen. Because if I'm infiltrating House Atreides, that means I'm getting benefits as they get stronger. Like, for example, an underworld headquarters here would be quite valuable to me because it's adjacent to another underworld headquarters, so it would be worth 10 gold, or 5 gold. Well, 5 because it gives 5 extra to this one as well. But I could also grab myself a bootleg market in here and steal even more. And also, I think I need to kill my scavengers. Let's go ahead and disband so we can train more Landsrad guards. They're crazy powerful. I can not afford to continue to train more. So it looks like the Speaker of the Council is up for election. It's probably not a bad one to get control of. I'll encourage people to vote for me so that I could gain Speaker of the Council. Wait, I already have Speaker of the Council. How do I re-roll things? And that was re-rolling during the phase. Okay, so I'm Speaker of the Council. How do I use this ability? Is this not the proposal phase? Okay. I guess I need to learn a little bit more about how the Landsrad works. I'm kind of just not fully up on that. That's just something I need to get better at. Also, I think I need to get better at doing like ornithopter exploration because there's like a ton of things over here that I could explore. Ooh, there's a ton of things I could explore over here with my ornithopters to get value. Man, investigating these ruins for hedge money would be nice, but I don't think I can get units over there. So you've almost filled out the full intelligence tree. We even have sand diplomacy and negotiation tactics. We have like all of these, which is fantastic. And we're slowly filling out the military tree too. And we'll soon have economic lobbying. The second I get economic lobbying, it's going to change my life. Okay, the amount of money I'm going to make from my spice selling, it's just going to be ridiculous. I'm going to very easily be able to infiltrate and take over Chom. This is definitely a good candidate for another underworld headquarters. We've got a very, very nice plascrete and water production zone. And it's also adjacent to a couple of my infiltrations that already exist, so it will naturally produce a little bit of money thanks to my counselor that gives me 5 Solari per adjacent region. We'll get a bootleg market so we can maximize our cash flow. And the great thing about getting cash flow from infiltrating the House Atreides is it means I can play a little bit more fast and loose with my income, right? I'm able to stockpile like an insane amount of spice this cycle so that I can sell an insane amount of spice next cycle. So speaking of infiltration, I'm going to go ahead and infiltrate Shadud as well. But this infiltration is designed to actually set up for a military attack. So what we're going to do is come in here and actually build the back alley doctor, which will give me health regen for my units in this area, and I'll get hidden explosives, which will allow me to hit the militia in here and kill them really quickly. More Landsrad Guard have come out. Let's go ahead and ferry them to the front line. What do I have in this area that I could delete? I think I have a couple. Yeah, I have a couple of these mercenaries that I can disband. I don't want to go over my military limit. I don't think that's like a very good idea, but dude, we are going hard on Landsrad. I've got 6 Landsrad Guard right now and then a bunch of snipers. I think I would actually, ideally, I would replace one of these snipers for a wrecker, because a wrecker plus a sniper seems like a really, really good combo. The wrecker lowers the enemy's armor while also lowering their supply, and then the sniper does extra damage based on the target's missing supply and will do more damage because the armor is broken. So I feel like that might be the combo. relying heavily on Landsrad Guard for the front line, because Landsrad Guard don't actually do that much damage if you really look at them. So we want to be relying on other things to our DPS, right? The range guys. Landsrad's job is to just be this massive tanky front line that scales really nicely off a supply drop, because supply drop regenerates a percentage of someone's health, which means my Landsrad will regenerate 350 health compared to, say, the troopers or the scavengers 200 health. So it regens almost twice as much health, which makes them twice as tanky, right? And plus you add to the fact that they've got 3 times or twice the amount of armor, so they take a lot less damage. So I think I have, like, there is a little bit of depth. There is a little bit of depth to the militaristic side of things. I don't think there's a huge amount of depth, but there is, like, just enough there to keep things interesting, it feels. But Pelsud will be mine, and now we're gonna have to wait for the influence required to capture here. It'll take a while. I think it would be interesting if you were going to add more buildings to the underworld stuff. It would be like, make this village cheaper to take if you have an underworld market in it. Stuff like that would be kind of neat. So in Ubwaz, I'm going to go ahead and build some more crafts workshops. We just need lots of these. It's quite expensive to fill out the last slots in a lot of these buildings, but crafts workshops, I think, will be a significant contributor to my victory here. You can already see if I hover over this, craft workshops have made over 750 hedge money here, which I think will continue to be a valuable contribution. And every piece of territory I capture, I can build another one. So we're just going to be slowly building up that win condition here. Looks like there is a raid coming in. We do have units in the area. Let's get our military over here to protect. Let's disband a sniper and instead get another wrecker. How did that rebellion go for me over here? It looks like they have recaptured it. It looks like they prevented the rebellion, but the rebellion was a success, right? Because the goal of the rebellion wasn't to, like, necessarily completely block things. It was just to do a good job. Like, it was to disrupt. I spent a lot of my influence on building those Landsrad troops, which I think was worth it, but it does mean that I'm not going to have as much control over the next Landsrad vote. Like, there is a downside that I'm going to have to live with. Oh, there is a water seller caravan here. I can grab another chunk of authority, which should put me closer to actually taking over this spice field. And spice fields are everything. Over here in Tabwaz, now it costs me a lot of Plascrete. Ooh, sandworm. Okay, we're good. It costs me a lot of Plascrete to unlock these slots, but it's super worth it in my opinion. Because I could just drop these crafts workshops up to 22 hedge money a day. That's kind of adding like an inevitability to my build here, I feel. How long until Shadud can be mine? I have hidden explosives and a back alley doctor. Don't think anything else will really make a difference there. Any buildings I want to build in my capital? I think I'm mostly waiting for the Chome branch. Right, we've just paid our bribe, which means we are now in the super high value spice times, which means it's time to sell. We will make serious bank this time, because we have so much spice in the bank that we don't have to worry. I do like the kind of like little bit of strategy that goes on when it comes to choosing when do you pay your spice tax, when do you stockpile. It's kind of a fun little mini game that is a little bit engaging. You have to kind of choose how close to the line do I want to get, how deep does the rabbit hole go. I am maxed out on manpower, so there could be an argument to be made for killing recruitment offices here. It would really just depend if I had a better building to build, which I don't really. And I should also be using my intel to do things to disrupt people. Like underworld cells here could be good. So I'm going to go ahead and build an underworld cell so I can attack Shadud. And the positioning of my military is going to be important here. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to deploy the gear sabotage, but what I want to do is I'm going to prep a ceasefire in case somebody tries to attack me, and I'm also going to prep a crowd manipulation so I can hit the Fremen with that when I attack, so they'll have to choose between preventing a rebellion in Nun or preventing my attack in Shadud, which will hopefully put them in a difficult position. That's the dream, at least. Whether it works or not is going to be a different thing. They are coming in for another attack, so we have to be ready for this. We did capture an agent of the Fremen, which I think we can sell them back to them for resources, and if I were to grab a big load of spice or something from them, I don't know. I think I'm going to hold on to the agents, because if I can hold on to those agents, I can prevent them from taking action against me, which I think is ideal. Okay, it's actually a very large attack that they're getting ready with. Has me a little bit worried. Now, my Landsrad will do work, but by no means are they perfect. It's a pretty good fight. I think my militia are going down quickly, But that's not important. The important thing is things like the Kulons are getting wrecked in the back line here. Because they have a lot of health, like 1,000 health. Man, these Fremen units actually just have insane amounts of health. That's the thing that's kind of scary about them. And their attack is so high too. Their units just seem better than everyone else's. So I have full infiltration on Chom. Where else would I like infiltration? Let me have a little bit of a think about this. I think infiltrating the Landsrat again for that little bit of influence production seems totally reasonable. Alright, one of my Landsrat have taken a bit too much damage. Let's see if we can pull him out. Alright, that worked. And the Fremen are in full retreat, which is ideal for us. Perfect. Let's go heal up. And now might be the perfect time to push Shadud and actually trigger this mission that I had been planning for a while. I just have to wait for the healing to be done on these guys. We can begin the transport. Let's actually start the transport now, so we can be in position. Rebuild the militia. We have a ceasefire, we have an underworld cell, and a crowd manipulation all in the bank, ready to go. This is our moment. They are preparing for another attack, but the ceasefire will buy me the time that I need. I don't know where this warrior and Fatakin are going. Kind of worrying, actually. Maybe they're going to go grab these ruins. Alright, here they come. They're attacking. Let's play the ceasefire and then prep another ceasefire in the bank. Let's hit Shadud. Yep, there's the detonation, so the militia are already damaged. There is no airport here, sadly, so we will have to wait a long time to get our military back. That shouldn't be a problem. The existence of a turret is a problem. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We're now in control of Shadud. Control it, please. Then we're going to play a underworld cell here. That'll bring the price down to 200 influence, or authority, and then we'll grab it. And it should only take a few days. And Runin is still under the effects of a ceasefire. And we have another ceasefire prepped. Let's also get a supply drop. And it looks like a complication happened during this crowd manipulation. I'll spend an extra 500. Or I'll keep a low profile, that's fine. We don't need the rebellion. Our plan seems to have worked pretty smoothly here. A combination of distracting them, attacking them using ceasefires has led to the position where, yeah, look, even the House Atreides is using ceasefires to buy time. We have another ceasefire in the bank so we can avoid any shenanigans. It does take a long time for this village to be taken control of, sadly. And they are prepping a counteract, this Fedaykin here. Okay, there's a couple of attacks. I think I can defeat the raiders. This, though, this needs a ceasefire, and then I have to prep another ceasefire. The ceasefire will buy me a little bit of time. This I'll have to just rely on my militia for. I mean, the turret is good. Hopefully it works out. Maybe I shouldn't have sent my entire military over to here. The problem is if you don't send your whole military, they'll send their whole military, and then you're just in trouble. Maybe these Landsrad can cross the desert. Let's try it. I know they're going to lose supplies really quickly, but this is a really thin part of the desert, and I might be able to get them over the Tablon to actually help. I have another ceasefire. I'm going to drop it in Runin. I need to just buy time. That's what the ceasefires are for. Speaking of operations, let's go ahead and get some Chom shares. We're falling behind a little bit in the hegemony game, and that's unacceptable. We also now have control of Shadud. Let's play the airfield, and then we'll play the refinery next. Is there a building here I don't care about? The crafts workshop is fine. I probably don't need the military base, so we'll go ahead and destroy that. Let's do a crowd manipulation on Nunun to cause a rebellion, which should force them to protect this while we bank up another ceasefire. We're like just trying to do everything that we can to manipulate here and gain advantages on the battle. Operation detected, enemy operation detected. There is ally unit disbanded. Okay, I'm a little bit confused by the ally unit disbanded. I don't know what causes that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what caused a unit to disband. That's kind of like interesting and confusing. Let's bribe some politicians. Oh, wait. House Atreides got the Dune governorship, so we're going to have to get that off them. That's very, very worrying that they have that. So we're going to have to get that off them. Okay, we managed to save Tablon. Let's go ahead and move our Landsrat over. Let's rebuild the militia here. Make our way to Runin. The Landsrat have arrived to buy time. Perfect. And we managed to perfectly defend. So this operation that we had planned went flawlessly. Absolutely nothing went wrong. It went completely to plan. And we need to start thinking about disrupting House Atreides. It's very worrying that he has the Dune governorship. Let's get a command post to get a larger military. Maybe we can go liberating some of these villages on the outskirts. Even just pillaging the hell out of House Atreides might be like really valuable for us. So we paid the Imperial bribe, and price went down slightly. It's not the end of the world. But we are going to have to start stockpiling slightly. I do need to befriend a siege to be able to get the Dune governorship, which is kind of unfortunate because I've been working on it, I think, with one of them for a long, long time. And it just hasn't happened. Well, not that long, to be honest. It's only been a short while, if I'm being, like, more realistic in how I'm talking about things. I definitely feel like it's time to start hitting House Atreides, though, like over here. If we could just pillage and destroy everything here, or maybe liberate the town or something. Let's start some underworld cells that'll allow us to take territory from them a little bit more easily. Oh, we're under attack over here. Let's grab a contingent to teleport here, being very, very annoying. The Fremen are. Thanks, Fremen. Appreciate you. The Fremen are prepping another attack. Man, it's hard to manage here. I'm curious as to why my Landsrad guards are kind of randomly disbanding. Is there like some sort of operation being played against me or something? That's the thing that I'm not certain about that has me a little bit confused. Sometimes things don't happen I don't have an explanation for. Speaker of the Council. I definitely need to take control of Speaker of the Council. The reality is, if I don't have control of Speaker of the Council, he can re-roll the Dune governorship thing, and then I can't fight him for it. Also, I think I need to switch to infiltrating House Atreides here, like fully. So I need to know what his influence levels are at. Yeah, look at that. He's got way too much influence. That's really scary, honestly. The fact that he'll be able to bully his way to the Dune governorship is terrifying. I'm trying to think about how I could stop them. I guess I just have to hope that the Fremen are smart enough to also make a little bit of influence and to vote in a rational way that doesn't cause them to lose a game. It's a big fight in here. Ah, you died. I was just about to drop a supply drop to keep my troops healthy. Pull back troops who are getting a little bit too hurt. Just to give you a moment to reset the amount of DPS they're taking. Let's see, I could get combat drones. I think I just picked up a military tech here. Yeah, I got support structures. I haven't really seen much use of this. Like, this drone doesn't seem very useful. It has 15 damage, 5 armor, 500 health. Would I not just be better with like a tanky frontliner? It just feels like if I just spam Landsrads, it'll hurt my influence upkeep and stuff like that for sure. But it does mean that I'm just like super powerful. Let's do a chome share. Another chome share on the way. Bro, this economic lobbying building, because I keep getting tech passively, it has taken so long to research when it's been like a linchpin of my strategy. I think I need to go around and just drop some like research hubs in the hopes that I can actually get it. I actually have research hubs because it's taking way too long. I need to like drop some research hubs and pray that I get this, because I thought I would have this by now and it was going to give me like the money I need to like pump chome shares. It's just not happening, and now like we're on the countdown for the Dune governorship. It's kind of spooky right now for me. I did manage to yoink the Speaker of the Council away from House Atreides, which is ideal. That's perfect. So I should have a little bit more control over what happens in the Landsrad now. Let's get a supply drop and attempt a raid against the Fremen. I think I would like to raid here. Me and House Atreides have been very, very chill, which I'm happy about because I've been constantly fighting the Fremen, which is really, really draining on my reserves. All right, the attack on Idan is going pretty well. Let's continue. Let's get another supply drop to keep ourselves healthy. Now, I could take control of this village. And you know what? That's actually worth more victory points than a pillage. I mean, a pillage would be nice. But if I took control of this, I would get access to more building slots, which seems pretty good. So let's do an underworld cells here to make this cheaper to control. And then we're going to try and take it over. Let's see. So I could re-roll. Let's try to re-roll this. These are not what I wanted, unfortunately. I'm hoping that the governorship of Dune, I'll be able to counter that at some point. Somehow, I don't know. It just feels like I'm kind of stuck a little bit, waiting for that to be a possibility. Oh, there's a raid going on here. Can I get you guys to fly over to stop this raid? The good news is my craft workshops are up to 2,000 hedge money generated, and that's going to keep increasing. So that's really, really good. I'm making 30 hedge money a day, which is like, what, like 600 per Landsrad cycle? That's a significant chunk of what you need to win the game. By no means is it an ignorable amount. I mean, it's not a crazy amount, but it's not ignorable. That's the important thing. Finally, I managed to befriend a sitch. So let's grab ourselves an agent. I guess this counterintelligence guy will do. And we'll place them in here. This allows me to be eligible for the Dune governorship. I don't think I care about holding the Speaker of the Council. I think that's not a worry for me. But I will put a bounty on myself to grab this. So Idanim is mine. Definitely a Plascrete factory. Listening post, I could hold this. These are all fine. I think the only thing I really want to add here is a missile battery. Probably not a bad idea to push for the spice field in Arklon. If I were able to take Arklon, that would be huge. It would give me so much more spice to play with. Oops, I forgot to put this guy on auto recall, so he got murdered. So I'm going to vote relatively conservatively here. I'm just going to put like 100 points in my vote because I need to save influence for the next vote. So if I can maybe prevent the Dune governorship, that would be ideal. I'm at a command point deficit. What's going on here? I'm over my limit somehow. Oh, I have to drop someone. Guess I will drop this Landsrad guard just because I don't want to take that deficit. That deficit's painful. All right, so we're looking to take Arklon. There are turrets and stuff to deal with, and I think they will have a hard time getting their military over here to protect. And I've got a small contingent in 2 different places that I can redeploy to defend. Let's play the supply drop. Just keep things nice and healthy. There's the sandworm. Get into the base. So I want to take control of this. Let's go ahead and play Underworld Cells to make it cheaper, and I can grab it. There's another spice field that I'll own. It looks like they are responding with defensive troops, at least making their way over here. But that shouldn't be a worry for me. I'm worried I'm going to lose because of this Dune governorship. I assume he has to actually make it through the cycle. Like, he can't just win if he, like, held it for 3 votes and then didn't hold it on the 3rd one. Let's go ahead and start the Chom shares, because what happened to me is I got, like, a total governor reset when I was about to win the game. If that is how it works, I don't know how I feel about that RNG having such a disproportionate effect on the outcome of elections and stuff. The lack of control, like, that feels a little bit too RNG for me if that's how that works. So I won this one. Perfect. I got targeted here. It's not too worrying. The big worry is the Dune governorship thing, because I'm right on the cusp of winning. I'm at 20,000 points, and I need just another 4.8k. Lost a couple of Landsrad guards. I'm going to have to replace them with... Well, I don't want to replace them with mercenaries. I'll replace them with scavengers, because I can't afford to spend... my Landsrad Council influence right now. Just can't afford it. Almost got control of Arklon. There's a couple more warriors coming in. Once I have them dealt with, we're going to be fine. I don't like if I tell my units to go like attack someone or somewhere and that unit dies, they stop moving instead of like issuing a move command to where they were going. It's not like a regular RTS. Like, I usually don't want my units to not go somewhere, if that makes sense. Like, if I send you to attack something, it's not because I want you to attack that thing, it's because I want you there. So that's like a modification I would maybe like to see to the game. Okay, this is really crap. What the hell? We just don't get to vote against the Dune governorship? I don't like that RNG. Like, there was nothing I could do here. I never got an opportunity to vote them out of the governorship. But yet, when I will have held the Dune governor, like, if I, like, that feels really RNG. I don't like that very much. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'll accept the loss, because it's like, okay, now I know the Dune governorship is, you know, if House Atreides gets control of this, they just have to die. Like, I have to dedicate, because I was thinking, like, oh, you know, I've got time, you know, I can mosey around, I can do other things. But yeah, I am not a big fan of that, because there's no way that I can get to Arakeen in a reasonable amount of time and put them under siege. I was so focused on the Fremen, right, which would seem logical, because I was like, oh, I'm going to get a chance. I'm obviously, like, the game isn't going to screw me. It's going to give me a chance to intercept the Dune governorship, because that's what happened in the game I played previously. So that feels very, like, I feel like a win condition like this, it shouldn't be like... There should never be a dice roll that like automatically decides that you won the game. A game should never be decided upon a dice roll if the game isn't about dice rolls. You know what I mean? Like, fair enough. If your entire game is rolling dice, okay, sure, dice roll, no problem. But this entire game isn't rolling dice. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So this loss feels a little bit like a little frustrating. But to be fair, the game is in early access. They'll figure that out a little bit. Like, there should be a way for me to contest this, I feel. I feel like there should be a way for me to contest this. Like through this screen, and I don't have access to that right now. Like, this is the screen that makes this person win this way, and I have influence banked. I'm ready to contest it, and I can't. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little unfortunate. It's a little bit unfortunate. A little bit too RNG. And don't get me wrong. I'm a person you will hear defending to the death RNG in computer games. RNG is fantastic. It's amazing. It adds variability. It adds replayability. It makes mechanics more deep. It makes decisions more interesting. But it has to be used the right way. And this just feels like I got an auto lose because of RNG. I guess maybe what I needed to do was to do political audits to get my Landsrad standing high enough to where I could make that work. Maybe that was what I was supposed to do. But yeah, I'm going to go on a crusade against Arakeen, although I don't think there's enough time, unfortunately. I mean, I'm trying. I've got my entire army here, and I don't even care. Like, if the Fremen attack me, it doesn't matter. So I can increase my Landsrad standing. So I could have fought them for the Dune governorship. Is it a case where in order for an election for a position to... No, I don't think it is. I don't think you need multiple people to be qualified for a position for an election for it to happen. Maybe I needed to up my Landsrad standing. Maybe I needed to pump influence. That's just like a little bit of transparent, which I think is one of the criticisms I have of this game right now, is that it does not explain itself very well. It kind of just expects you to figure out what you're supposed to do, which is fair sometimes. Like, sometimes games are hard and they require you to, like, you know, you have to do a little bit of hard groundwork. Okay, so I lost a Landsrad guard there. You can go pretty deep into someone's territory, but it doesn't seem advisable. Enemy hegemony close to victory. I mean, so am I. That's the thing. Yeah, I think it was just their control of the Landsrad was a bit of a problem. I needed to get my Landsrad... I needed to pump influence, I think, in the mid-game and get my Landsrad standing up really high, because this Landsrad standing thing gives you a huge bonus to chome spice exchange rates. It gives you hedge money. If I had this hedge money, I would have been able to contest the Goon governorship. I would have been able to vote more. I think so. This has been a really informative game for me, in particular about how to play the late game. Because I feel like I have a pretty good grasp of the early game, strategically and mechanically, but like the late game was a little bit alien to me. And now I feel much safer playing deeper and later into the game. So this is an all-in attack on Arakeen, which means I need all of my troops inside this area and attacking the city. It's unlikely that we will kill it before the time comes. However, if we pick up things like defense sabotage, I need to upgrade my standing with the Spacing Guild. Let's do that. Defense sabotage, this will increase the damage he takes. We're also doing more supply drops. Political audit, keep that Landsrad standing coming up. I don't even care that you're taking this, that's whatever. My focus is on the very small percentage chance that I can kill House Atreides here. And there it is, House Atreides has won. I think this has been a really valuable run. I learned a lot about how I should play, what I should focus on, how do I counter other people's victories. I feel like I could have or should have won this game. I learned the value of technology, and in particular, like how important it is to be really selective about what you pick up here. One of the big downsides for the play that I made this game was where I went for this kind of passive spyware tech, where all of my tech was relying on my enemies picking up tech. The big downside to that is that I have very little control over my build. I have very little control over my build, which means I'm kind of always behind, right? Because like if you think about it, right, these techs that I have like half completed, my enemies are benefiting from these and I'm not. So that's like a big problem for me. And I feel like if I had finished this economic lobbying at any point this game, I would have easily won from just spamming. And I mean spamming chome. Selling here. So I feel like that would have been huge. I feel like tech, I have a much greater respect for early tech now. This building here, the research center, is like so powerful early, because like research hubs, this plus a maintenance center means you're paying 60% less for a research hub. So they cost 4 Solari and 3 Plascrete a day. That's nothing. That really is nothing. Yes, this has been a really good learning experience. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.